Go. Go. Switch to up here. Sure, it's working. All right. So it looks like we are live playing some Edge of the Empire in my Sunday Sandbox campaign. So we are going to do a bit of a recap here for anyone that is watching or watches this later. We have a crew yet unnamed. They don't necessarily have a crew name just yet. But they are on the smuggler's moon of Nar Shaddaa. And their companion, Hemi, the Duros Slicer, has had an unfortunate run-in with a smuggler down on her luck who happened to shoot him in the gut. Didn't kill him, and his friend Sasha, the human scout, managed to, along with the rest of the party, get him to a quote-unquote doctor. Sletos, the Ithorian, really more of a cyber tech than anything else, but he does have medical training. And because this crew does not have any credits or is hard up, which is not a good place to be on the smuggler's moon of Nar Shaddaa, he wouldn't just let our dear Hemi use his back-to-tank for free. So he said, if you will go down into the old Duros sector, which is a bit of the Undercity, used to be prosperous and nice during the Clone Wars era, but now is with intermittent power. So it's frequently in the dark, and the pollution and air scrubbers don't work. Well, the pollution is thick. The air scrubbers don't work quite as well down here, but not terribly. And there was a menagerie at one point that housed all sorts of exotic animals, which are now running about the darkened Undercity. One of these, known as the Rakordan, is an especially nasty creature that is basically the body of a wolf with a scorpion's tail. And in that scorpion's tail, or right beneath it, is a venom sac that apparently, if you can extract the venom from a live Rakordan, can be very useful and helpful to Sletos. And so he has said to our party, if you can retrieve this and bring it back to me, that will cover the cost, essentially, of playing in the back-to-tank for Hemi. Getting to go for a little swim, so to speak. And so that is where we find our crew, or at least part of our crew. Sasha, the scout who has been equipped with a device for her gun that will have a tranquilizer dart and the necessary medical equipment to extract the venom, has sort of taken point and is currently maybe staring down these some sort of vicious beasts down right outside of the menagerie square with Zaya, the alluring Zeltron, who does not make her living by fighting, are currently there. Their companion, Laz, the Twi'lek hired gun, their muscle, so to speak, has mysteriously vanished, although they did get in contact with him over the comlink, and he assures them that he is on the way with help. And Hemi, meanwhile, sits with a now back to patch anyway on his gut, getting a little bit of relief from the stomach wound, and some interesting information which may or may not come in handy later. And what we will do right now is we will kick it over to Nar Shaddaa, to the Undercity, to the Duros Menagerie. And before we do that, we are going to roll the Destiny pool. So, because Roll20 is weird, I have to first this, then I have to this.
I'm getting weird.
Yep, and then if you guys want to go ahead and make the Destiny roll on your character sheet for me, we will see how many light side and dark side points we get to play with. And anyone who is watching who may not be familiar with this game, Destiny points are essentially light side and dark side points. They kind of represent the Force and the use of the Force. They can affect the game. Sorry, what's up? Can you guys hear me?
Now I can.
You're lagging real bad, buddy.
Did I lag out?
I can hear you better now than before.
But yeah, but just like now we can, but before. So anything you said when we went to the menagerie, or we're moving down to the menagerie, we didn't hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll the Destiny roll for me if you can.
Okay.
That's pretty much what I was. Yeah, what I was looking for.
So now, how do I do that?
So that should be, yeah, that should be in your character sheet.
Yep.
Right.
And it should say Roll Destiny. Yep.
Whoa, we got white pips. How cool is that? Oh, see, because I screwed that up, of course. But it makes sense because she's the good and so on and so forth, and yeah, we'll do that.
Right. And Hemi, if you can, go ahead and roll it as well for me. Perfect.
Always.
Oh, there. Light side points. Yeah.
Do you guys see the 2 light side points in the Destiny pool on your sheet?
I
have 0 in my pool,
and it shows 3 dark.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, I don't have anything.
You don't.
Okay.
I think there's the sync GM.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. We discovered that it is somewhat buggy. I believe Rory had a hard time seeing any of them, right?
Yeah, I always had a hard time seeing those.
All right, and I'm not seeing the light side points right now, so I'm gonna put them in.
Right, so I see.
Now, hopefully everybody will see 2 and 3.
Oh, there we go. Now I see it.
Okay,
I was
fantastic.
looking in the wrong place, so that makes sense.
Okay, so quirks of Roll20. Go figure. But that's good. So you guys have some access to some light side points. And for the purposes of this session, we are not going to roll obligation.
So is it still on mine?
Yeah, probably. But for the sake of this game, if you hadn't kept track of that, don't even worry about it. Because again, I'm sort of considering this to be a prologue session.
Okay.
But Sasha, you should be able to see your token here on the screen on Roll20. I believe that should show up for you. Are you? Oh, no, sorry, you won't be able to see it yet. Let me pull you guys over to the map.
Oh, there we go.
And
can you put her name on it? Not that I don't know who she is, but yeah, my name is underneath it. Can you name her?
yeah, she should be. Do you not see it?
I do not see her name.
You're not.
Well, that's
you
fine.
just have to click on the token and just do the all players see the name. It's like the second tab of the token.
Yeah, I thought I did that. All right, my bad. All right, well, while I go in and do that, Sasha, if you see your token, you should be able to clicked on show nameplate. That should show it to everybody.
Cool.
On the second tab of the token, so show nameplate will show it to you, the GM, and then on the second tab in the token options.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Sure.
All
yep,
right.
I see Zia.
There it is.
Sasha, yep.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway, you have basically now you have seen the lights of eyes, what look like eyes anyway, coming from basically this section right here.
Okay.
You've heard some snarling, and you expect that there is probably something going on there. Creatures of some sort. You don't know if they're the ones you're looking for or not, but what are you going to do?
I need to know if they're what we're looking for. So I look down at the data pad to see. Sorry. To see if we can see where Laz is now. And then Zaya, so that my hands will be free for the rifle.
Yeah. So Zaya looks at you and she just says, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him if he doesn't come here and help us.
Well,
He's the
these
one.
things might kill us first if we don't watch ourselves.
Well, and I understand that. And she,
No
if
sudden
you guys
movement.
remember, she had turned her data pad off because she was angry at him. And do you have yours on? Because it takes 5 minutes for these things to load.
We've been watching him through it.
Where is he, Sasha? I don't. Again, look, and she shows you her data pad and it's off. You know what I mean?
We had some red dots, so like
Yeah.
point to the.
Well, give me that, and you hold on to your gun because I can't shoot the gun. You shoot it. I can't.
Okay. Keep your movements slow. No, nothing sudden is ahead of us. And I hug the. Now, how much illumination am I getting from that glow rod that I threw?
I mean, you're getting enough that you can see probably a little ways in front of you. It would not be illuminating the center here. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, it would not be illuminating in there. You can probably see like a little ways in front of you. Yeah.
So I can see whatever this is to the right in the passage.
Yeah.
Like a button.
Is
Yeah, basically from what you understand, this would be sort of a grand entryway into what was once the menagerie, which was sort of a big kind of open air, not open air, but it didn't have like walls, but it would have a ceiling, and the 4 columns basically held up this big Duracrete ceiling. And then there normally were cages around all, the center, and you could go into the middle and basically see all these exotic animals. And there are some animals in there, and they're snarling at you.
And there, from what you described earlier, though, those eyes are above us, looking down.
Oh, no, I didn't intend for that to come through. My apology. No, you guys are all kind of on the same level. The only difference would be that you are not currently in this sort of platform area. So,
okay.
Yeah, you're not in here yet. But that
This
was
area,
at one point a platform.
This area to the right, can climb up on, or is that
like down here?
Yeah.
You wanna if you just right click on your mouse and then just hold it, it'll make that circle like that. For wherever you want to talk about. Try it out.
All right.
I think if you left click and hold it.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Sorry.
All right. So yeah, this stuff here, just to see if it's something I can get up on, that we can climb up on, or
Yeah, absolutely. So these would probably be like viewing cells, maybe like a fresher at one point. Like these would all be sort of like a kiosk that you might purchase things at. So yeah, I would imagine right now this stuff is all kind of broken down. But yes, I would think you would probably be able to climb up at least on top of those somewhat. I would say that will definitely require an athletics check, though, especially because it is rather foggy down here, and you can hear the snarling intensifying a little bit. There's multiple creatures in there.
Oh man.
But yeah, you could definitely make an attempt to climb up on there if you want.
So, I'm gonna tell Aya, we're heading up there. I want us to have higher ground. Climb up. And so I'm gonna move like,
Where, Sasha? I'm standing behind. Talking about.
so it's ahead of us and to the right. So just stay right behind me, and then I want you to climb up to the right.
Okay. We'll
You'll see it when you get there.
Foggy down.
I have to leave.
Yeah, somebody has it on.
I was trying to. I didn't know an ad was going to come on. I also didn't know my volume was up.
Yeah, no worries.
No worries.
So yeah, so Zaya will definitely follow behind her. So but we can see to here, right? Like
Yeah. I mean, you basically her glow rod is illuminating the hallway pretty much out to about the entrance of this thing. Yeah.
So about here.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now when we get over, so then I'm gonna, because I know how to use this. Like I said, I'm gonna move over to here. And when we get to where this wall is, what is the status? What's the state of this wall?
So the wall is a pockmarked Duracrete wall. You could probably, with a little bit of time, and because Sasha has a glow rod, you could probably find some handholds, but you're not quite sure exactly what will happen. However, if any of you have a rope or a grapple kit or anything like that, kind of like you see in episode 1 where Padme shoots that little gun. If you've got one of those, you could easily get up there. But this would, in the dark and with the stress that you guys are currently under, this would be a 3 purple difficulty.
So do you have another rod, or did you only have the one?
I believe I do have one more. Where's the item inventory?
Well, just look in your damn pack, Sasha. Sorry, I didn't mean to snap at you.
Don't worry about it. You can just say you do. A glow rod's not a big deal. So
he's not here, Sasha.
But yeah, here, take it.
All right, so she snaps the rod, because I'm assuming they're like glow sticks in theory, right? And she tosses it up there, so we have light.
Okay, up on the top.
Yeah.
All right. Absolutely. And so what I'll do then is I'll give you guys a boost dice as well, because you can see a little bit better now. Yeah, you should be able to climb up. Again, it's not an easy climb. It would still be 3 purple, but it's probably about, let's see, a meter is 3 feet, right? So probably about 2.5 meters, somewhere around there.
That's like, all right, so about 8 feet tall, so
Yeah.
like a ceiling.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, I got an idea there, Sash.
Okay, let's hear it.
How about either I boost you or you boost me, and then we can pull each other up?
Well, it'll be hard to cover you if I'm boosting you.
I don't think I can climb up there. I mean, I don't think I can climb up there, Sash.
And at that point, you hear this snarling kind of, beast-like thing, and you
I think I can now.
Yeah, you see this creature barely kind of poking into your light, and it's this sort of, it's like this face out of Nightmare. It's this quadrupedal creature with this, like, almost, it looks like a bone, like a skeleton on the outside. And its eyes are catching the light of Sasha's glow rod. But yes, it is definitely sniffing around at this point, kind of coming to see what's going on, and could hear you guys talking.
Did you put the stuff in there so I have to just hit the button?
Yep.
Wonderful.
And Zaya, why don't you go ahead and describe your attempt to climb up this thing and your utter failure.
Yeah. So she yeah, exactly. So she hears the snarl and kind of gets a very, very slight look at what's coming. And like I said, I think I can do it now. And she, in her frantic, tries to, just kind of jump up. Zaya's a lot of things. Zaya's fit. Zaya's, so on and so forth. She, but she's not strong by any means. You know what I mean? So she kind of tries to jump up there and grab it, and she gets her fingers on the edge of it because she was able to jump high enough, but she doesn't have enough hand strength, and she just slides right off.
Excellent. And Sasha, you see this happen, right? And you see Zaya fall, and as Zaya falls, you see this thing come closer, and you now see another creature kind of come out and starting to look at you. And I apologize, the images here are a bit opaque, but that's because I have bad images, so my apologies. Yeah. But hopefully you can see them.
Hey, it's not facing down too.
Yep, got two of them now.
I've got my was climbing up. I readied my rifle and was taking aim at the first one that showed up, ready to shoot if need be. But like talking softly to them, easy now. Just easy. Nothing to see here. Take it easy. Just, like you do with or mean dog or whatever. Just kind of trying to be soothing.
And if you want to make an attempt at that, you could either do a survival roll or even possibly a charm check. Now, these things...
I don't know anybody good at that.
Well, you can't do it because you're currently not in a position to do much of anything but fall.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
But,
let's see. All right, so survival.
Yep, and I'm going to set... Let's see... Okay, so it's going to be against a standard 2 difficulty. However, you're sort of in their turf. You're illuminated. You're very easy to see. There's going to be a setback dice here as well. And then because I am a jerk, I think I'm going to use a dark side. So I'm going to...
I do believe that you said in the Discord chat that we'd have a boost too. Whatever we did next.
I believe you're right, so I'm going to give you that. And I'm going to upgrade it. So yes, so right now you are looking at 2 purple, but actually it's 1 purple and 1 red. The setback dice, as well as a boost dice from your last action. You want
dice roller
yep.
me.
Let's see.
If I want what?
Sorry. So I was gonna say you could do either survival or charm.
Survival.
Ooh, nice.
Whoa.
No.
Oh, we forgot to clear the. Or you might have forgotten to clear the what do you call those? The force dice. So we're not gonna count that. We are going to count that despair. However, you have succeeded in talking these guys down, and you have 3 advantages as well. So effectively, what were you saying? How, like, kind of what were you doing? And if you can, just sort of describe the scene for me.
Yeah. So, I'm just in a soothing, talking to them, I guess I should say now, in a soothing tone, just that, easy, it's okay. Checking things out. We're not here to cause trouble. Just like, those random things that you say to calm a animal down.
Sure.
And just kind of froze to the spot. But I've got my rifle. I'm aiming at the same time. So if they decide to spring at me, I'm ready to go.
So is this simultaneous, Sam? Of me trying to climb?
Well, no. So pretty much what happened was when you fell or you didn't make it up, that's sort of when they showed up. So then Sasha was basically like, okay, now there's these 2 beasts. I've got to do something. And yeah, Sasha, you would be able to tell these are the Rakordon.
Cool. Yeah, this is what we're looking for. And I'm just going to continue in that soft voice like I'm talking to the critters. We can't kill them all. We need one alive.
Yes, you very plainly said it needs to be. Oh, my ass hurts.
Yeah, Saya. Do you want these things to pounce on you? Oh, tones. Keep cool, girl.
Oh, you didn't land in your ass. I did.
And what you'll notice, and I'll say because you got those 3 advantages, you notice that these things are staying very close to these pillars. They don't seem to want to get too close to your light, but basically at this point, Sasha, they've come out almost just out of curiosity to see what the noise was here. So you realize that you probably have, if you don't do anything antagonistic and if you were to just stay there, you would probably be all right. So just keep in mind, you can get a boost dice on your next move. But yeah, right now you're noticing that these things are somewhat hesitant to engage you.
As long as
are they responding to you?
Say what?
Did you calm them?
Yeah.
I can calm any beast.
Stay calm.
He smiles at you.
We'll be okay.
There's nobody better at calming anything in the world besides me, Sash. You know that.
And as you say that, Zaya, you feel cold steel at the back of your neck, and you can smell this cloying odor of, like, it smells like ammonia, and you feel this sort of like hot breath on your on your neck, and kind of almost through like a voice, like a vocoder or whatever it would be. You kind of hear this, like, don't move, back away slowly, nobody has to get hurt. And this is the despair that you rolled, Sasha.
See, I'm sitting on my ass. I can't move anywhere right now.
And at that moment too, Sasha, your data pad kind of blinks, bleep 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 bleep.
Yeah, I'm holding under a data pad right now.
Oh, okay. Well, then in that case, yeah, the data pad that you're holding goes bleep 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 bleep, and you see that it is basically a message from Laz saying, we're inbound about 2 minutes away.
And I just flipped the pad over so that and just kind of put it up against my body even. And what would you like me to do? She's saying it out loud because she doesn't know. She hasn't turned around. She hasn't
And then there's like a swipe, and we're gonna cut to the oh, I gotta zoom out here. We're gonna cut to Hemi and the doctor. See this? I'm just gonna switch this over here just so you can see it. Hemi and the doc. Hemi, you're currently sitting in the room with your back to, Patch kind of on your stomach. And you had this conversation with Gomslitos. And, you get the impression that he's a ruthless businessman for sure. But based on your kind of, just reading the situation, he seems genuine in the information that he provided to you. Now, I know last you asked, you were kind of just, as you do, being a slicer, you were looking around for like a computer terminal, and you definitely find one in the room. But he seems to be going about his business right now, ignoring you for the moment. Did you want to do or say anything?
I'm imagining it's a fairly tight room, probably, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I think for the most part, Hemi would like to get up now if he's feeling a little bit better after the back to Patch has been sitting on him for a little bit, and kind of just start to kind of look over the room, kind of just casually crossing to that side, looking at the different instruments that might be around, and maybe even asking questions like, "Hey, what does this do?"
Absolutely. And sort of as soon as you start to kind of get up, the Athorian looks back over to you and he says, "Oh, you must be feeling better already. Good, good. I'm glad to see it. You are tougher than one might imagine." And then as you kind of walk around the room and you start looking at things, it's really it's very tight. It does not look like, it looks like a sort of makeshift surgical center, right? But you can tell that this guy mostly works on cybernetics, right? On implanting cybernetics and stuff like that. And so it's a lot of that, right? There's a lot of like different mechanical devices in bins all over the place. There's servos and motors and power supplies, charge packs for blasters. All kinds of stuff that you might use to like makeshift a or to repair a cybernetic device, right? And so as you're kind of looking around, oh, what is this? What is that? He'll kind of tell you. He'll be like, oh, that actually I've used in the past on a couple of real nasty ganks that came down here, short-circuiting their their servo arms. It was, and then he starts just kind of droning on.
Hey, you don't have any underground slicer gear, do you?
And he kind of cocks one of his, maybe his left eye at you, and he says, "Oh, well, I don't really know. I don't procure all of this stuff. My assistant does that, but I don't believe you're in any position to bargain for that, are you? Last I checked, you don't have credits."
I have a few in my pocket, but probably not enough to buy slicer equipment, it's true, but it's good to know who has them.
He says, well, I'm not much in the procurement business, but the people that I told you about, the Pikes, they, of course, if you work for them, they would be more than happy to supply you with anything you need for a job. And then he perks up a little bit, right? Because you get the impression he kind of likes talking about these guys. He says, "I swear they will treat you well if you work for them. Do not need to fear."
Yeah, let's hope I get the chance. He's kind of looking a little nervously at anything that might tell him the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And there's a chrono up on the wall. You would estimate that based on the description that you got, you were passed out when you came in here, but it's definitely nighttime. Although it's hard to tell day and night on Nar Shaddaa, but it would be nighttime. It was probably about 4 hours, you would estimate, since you were brought in here.
Yeah, so he's just kind of nervous. He goes, "So, exactly how far did you send my friends? It's been some time now."
Yes, it has. Do you have a way of contacting them?
Do I still have a way
Yeah.
of contacting?
Yeah, you would. You would have your comms and all that you'd be able to get in touch with them.
So he would kind of just like biff himself on the head and be like, "Of course," and kind of run back holding the back to pouch patch, make sure it doesn't fall off, and just goes to his bag and kind of starts to rifle through it and grabs his comms, and he's gonna try to dial in.
Right. And yeah, I guess Zaya at this point, the comm will go bleep 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 bleep. And if you are there, I can't hear you, but
Oh no, I'm here.
okay, cool.
I'm back. Sorry, I had to go out real quick.
No, that's all right, no worries. And you can kind of take a quick glance, and you can see that it's Hemi trying to make communication with you.
I'm still holding the comm pad. I mean the data pad, which I'm assuming would be connected to my comm unit. Or actually it would be connected to Sasha's comm unit because it's Sasha's pad.
Yep.
And I flip over the pad and I push the initiate button.
All right. And
no, it doesn't come to me. Now does it come to the both? Sasha.
Well, so I mean, you basically anybody who's got their comm right now, it's you guys kind of have an all
open line.
Yeah, an open line or whatever. Absolutely. So yeah, it would definitely come in to you, and Sasha, I would imagine you probably have a comm unit separate from your data pad, so you would be getting this beep 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 as well.
Yeah, like an earpiece or something like that, probably.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not answering because my hands are full with rifle.
Yeah. I
come in.
Little busy.
Is Laz with you?
I wish he was.
What's going on there? Speak to me.
Little busy. And she starts to turn her head slightly and look up.
And as you do that, two things happen. The first is that as you kind of turn your head and look up, your nose basically is pressed right up against the barrel of this. It's basically a rifle, very similar to what Sasha has. Not a blaster, but a slug thrower rifle. And you were looking at the ugly, face and form of a Gand. Definitely has, the ammonia breather that is common for a lot of their species. And he seems to be somewhat wounded, although you've seen enough times in your travels, the look in the eyes when somebody has used a stim pack. This guy's definitely on stims right now, and he says, "Now listen, you will turn off your comms. Come with me." And the other thing that happens is as that's happening, right, and you're sort of turning your head, you hear over the comms Laz's voice, and he says, Zaya, what's going on? I'm almost there. Hold on.
Can't really hold on. And she was holding the comm pad in one hand and her vibro, which is the only weapons that she carries at this point, in the other. It's Again, a bit busy.
And you also notice that as you do that, as soon as Laz's voice comes over the sort of the comms, there is a like this Gand's face is just like enraged. I mean, this thing seems to just be so angry, and it says, "Oh, excellent. This is someone that I know well. This is most fortuitous indeed."
Well,
And
as fortuitous as it may be, my friend, I wish I shared your same fervor for this. I will turn off my comms, and she does a move where she lay. I'm going to move and lay onto the ground and stab straight towards this man's junk.
oh wow, okay. Excellent. I like this a lot. Okay. Good plan. Before you do that, real quick, Ingot, you would have heard this whole thing. Oh, when Laz sort of pulled out his comm unit, right? And you can tell that he's getting agitated, right? And as he's hearing this, he would turn to you and he says, "Okay, be ready. We're gonna have to get in here. I think that was that guy that knocked me out earlier."
Scanning for threats. Initiate.
And currently, you don't see any threats, at least immediately. But he tells you that you will be probably on these guys real soon. You would know that your best bet would probably be to try to sneak up on the guy. Laz seems hellbent to just run in there.
Ingrid's gonna look at Laz and just say, "Alive or dead?"
And as Laz is kind of running, he's like, "It doesn't matter. I don't know. We just gotta save Zaya."
Terminate. Dead.
Excellent. And so, and so currently, he's like, "Okay," and then you would kind of, and here I'll move your guy over here, Anthony, just so you guys can see that. But hopefully, are you guys back on the map? Can you see the map again?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm okay.
And so he would say, "Okay," and then he says, "Look, if we go up this hallway, we should be able to come behind him, but I don't know." Oh, and then he's just like, "What? Just be ready." And then he starts to take off. And as he does so, Zaya, you wanted to basically sort of lay down and then do like a tuck and roll and come up with a knife.
Yeah, with a stab straight towards his
Stabby, his tender bits.
Yeah, the tender is her favorite part of people.
Ouch. Okay, so this guy is not a nice dude. And let's see. All right, so melee is normally 2. We get to upgrade it once because he is an adversary. He's got adversary 1. So that's exciting. So you'll actually be looking at 1 red and 1 purple. You do, however, get a boost dice because of Zaya's advantage earlier. There is a bit of a distraction coming from down the hall with those creatures. And
yeah, I'm there.
You're going to spend a light side point?
Yeah, please.
Okay. You should, yeah. So if you just click the button.
Not dying is huge. All right, yeah. So I use light side and
so I've given you the upgrade in your dice pool. You all just so you guys know, any actions that are taken down here are automatically at base 1 setback dice because of the gloom and the and everything. So you've also got a setback. So you're all set whenever you want to roll.
Okay, so now where do I roll this?
So this will be a melee check.
A melee check?
Yep.
Okay. That is, again, not something she's amazing at, but we'll do it. Come on. Mother fudge.
Right. Well, you know, it's hard. It was supposed to be. All right, so where's the light side? So the light side, I believe
to a yellow.
Yeah, it was the yellow. I don't think that Zaya has any skill in melee, right?
I do not.
Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
Or any ranks, I should say. So as you kind of do this roll, right, to come up, he like almost is expecting it, and he kind of pivots out of the way a little bit, and not enough to like do any damage to you, but he basically like kind of sort of hits you on the back of the shoulder with the butt of his gun, just enough to kind of like knock you down further onto the ground. So you know, as you were coming up in sort of a half crouch with the knife, he kind of spins, bam, whacks you on the back. You fall basically back down on your face, still with the barrel, you know, now pointing at you. But at this point, you can hear Laz just running, Zaya, I'm coming. And Sasha, you kind of can hear this commotion behind you. You still see these creatures, and they seem agitated, but actually one of them starts moving back at the commotion. The other one is sort of just kind of pacing, right, back and forth over here, just like at the entrance, but he's still not moving. Zaya sounds like she's in a bit of trouble. What are you going to do? Uh-oh, did I lose you guys?
No, you're here.
Oh, I think
I hear you.
Sasha's muted.
Yeah. Are you muted?
Shoot, I thought I unmuted myself. Okay. What the heck is going on back there, Sasha? The critters are getting restless, and I turn my head enough to kind of look over my shoulder, see what the heck's going on behind me.
And you would see basically this Gand now with his back to you, barrel pointed down at Zaya, who's on the ground. And you can kind of hear a commotion a little ways down. You think you maybe hear Laz's voice, but you can't quite make it out.
So I'm going to try to smoothly and quietly turn around and fire on this guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can definitely turn around and to fire. I'm going to say you are at medium range. So it will still be your normal 2 difficulty, but it gets upgraded because he's an adversary. You got your 1 setback. And I'm going to give you a boost dice as well because his back is turned. So he's not quite expecting you. But yeah, go ahead and whenever you are ready, make your roll, unless you want to use a light side point.
Where is the
Just make sure to clear.
Yep, I did.
where's the weapon? Oh, I'm not looking in the right place, am I?
You can either do it under your weapon, if you've added it to the sheet, or you could just straight up roll the ranged heavy skill in your skills tab.
Okay.
Better to do the weapon, but
Oh, is it?
yeah, because then it'll like show the damage and everything on there.
Okay, so I go. That one's not as obvious how to do
Yeah,
it.
it's under combat.
So I just click the button there. It's already all set.
Yep,
Oh, cool.
should be anyway. What I would do when you get a chance, well, because so she probably clicked in her dice pool. She probably clicked the force dice at 1. So what I would do, Sasha, is you should see like at the top of your sheet, it might say dice pool.
Just scroll up.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I still have. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know how to clear it, like underneath the?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do that for the sake of it. But cool. All right. Well, that's a good roll. So yeah. So let's see, you deal 7 damage. Okay. Cool. So yeah, you fire, and let's see. You don't quite have enough to take this guy out, but he definitely is hurt. Like you blast him, blah, and he kind of actually falls. And Zaya, he pretty much falls almost on top of you. Like, would you kind of move out of the way, or would you sort of try to like do a maneuver or something to try to flip him or do something cool?
No, she certainly would. She kind of now is kind of on her back and her butt, kind of kind of sitting there, with her knees up a little bit, like in maybe the birthing position per se, almost.
Yep.
And as he's starting to fall, she does just kind of roll out of the way towards. Hold on, I was looking at the sheet. Let me get back to the map. Towards this direction. So I kind of move over this way.
Okay.
And then he just falls straight right here, right?
Yep.
She and when he falls and hits the ground, she takes her knife and just sticks it not into his neck, because we may need to talk to him. But so the pointy part is now pointing on him. If this is your idea of foreplay, you really fucking suck at it.
And he actually does not respond to you at all. He's definitely cursing, but yeah, you definitely have the upper hand. Now, Sasha, you definitely managed to land a good shot on him. You could, if you wanted to, you still have the ability to take a maneuver, so you can still move. But with those 2 advantages, if you wanted to, you basically have the ability to take 2 maneuvers. So like if you wanted to, try to like move somewhere, you wanted to aim at something, like if you wanted to sort of turn around and and face off against those creatures again, you can still do so.
Yeah, I don't want to have my back to those creatures for long, so I'm gonna turn around and take aim again.
Okay.
Talking to them soothingly.
Absolutely. And they're agitated at this point. You basically see the 2, the guy who was like this creature that was up sort of by the pillar, like he's coming down, and they look, I mean, with the gunshots and the commotion, they now believe that there are predators about that might anger, and so they're getting ready. They look like they're about ready to pounce.
And they get to smell blood. Goody.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, you actually hear a commotion behind you as Laz comes crashing basically onto the scene with his like vibroblades out, not making any kind of attempt at stealth whatsoever. Zaya, I'm here. And before you respond, Zaya, Ingot, what are you doing as you see this Twi'lek just kind of rush in?
I think we'll try to use the D5 blaster to shoot from medium range at the target.
Okay, gotcha. No problem. So yeah, so why don't you then you kind of post up in a position. You can shoot at medium range, and you're gonna have a boost dice on this one because of his positioning and the distraction as well. Of course, it is upgraded still, and there is still a dark side point as well. So you're basically looking at 1 red, 1 purple, 1 black, and then you've got a boost.
Awesome. Okay, just want me to roll?
Yep, go for it. Oh, it canceled out.
Ah!
Oh, so that's straight even?
Yep.
Oh, lovely.
That's a whole lot of successes, too. I can't even... That sucks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and then the 4 cancel out, and then, 1 and 1. Ooh, that's brutal.
Fog obscuring scanners.
Oh, man. That's nasty.
I can't even believe that.
So where does that shot go?
So what was it that you were firing with?
E5 blaster carbine.
All right.
So I guess I like run in and I could see the silhouette, but he's probably moving around because he got blasted by Sasha, and maybe my bolt just like missed him because he kind of like recoiled in pain when I shot.
Yeah, definitely. And so yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. Like he probably didn't quite get hit, but he would have definitely like I think that makes sense. He would like recoil, he would kind of duck a little bit. But
Right.
it definitely gives Laz an upper hand here as well. He's looking at this thing.
Well, he's not here, and I have a blade to the back of this dude's head, and I just push it down.
Okay, nice.
It was more of a reaction than anything because another shot came, and there shouldn't be anybody shooting anything because Laz uses swords. So I mean, we're blade people. So it was just kind of a reaction, and she just stabs right downwards.
Okay, gotcha. So you're just gonna basically take this dude out.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say you do it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep, you just do it. So kind of describe what the scene looks like for me, if you will.
Yeah, so she's now kind of crouched over him more, kind of paying attention to what's going over near where Sasha is. She sees Laz and looks up at him with the worst face with those eyes. You know what I mean? And when the shot comes, not expecting there to be another blaster fire from anywhere besides her friend that's over here. It does startle her, and she's afraid that he may react to it and stabs him right in the back of the head.
Nice. And he's
right at the base.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you puncture the blade in, he kind of falls to the ground. The blood sort of spurts out of his head a little bit, and it's definitely like getting on you. And would you be sort of looking at him? Would you be looking at Laz? Like, does Zaya normally resort to violence? Like, how would this affect you emotionally?
It's something that wouldn't be, she's an extreme girl. She loves what she loves, and sometimes clients like violence as well as pleasure. So having violence is not something that is outside of her realm. Her and Laz have killed many people along the way. But it's because if you remember correctly, how we kind of modeled them after making Mallory, yada yada. Yep. So having violence in her life is not something that scares her, and having blood on her or any other fluid is not something that kind of grosses her out either. So it kind of hits her, and it's surprising, but as she stabbed him, she hasn't taken eye contact off of Laz at all.
Yeah,
and with those angry eyes.
And I think as you do that, Laz would have been, after you stabbed her, he looked concerned for you, right? And then he realizes that, like, okay, you're all right. And he was sort of starting to move in a little bit, possibly to give you a hug or some sort of embrace. And then he stops as he sees your eyes. And he kind of just looks down for a minute and he says, "Hi, Zaya."
Oh. Hi. Where in the kif have you been?
And you can see this anger sort of in his eyes, right? And he says, "This guy, I don't know what happened. He got me."
Well, us girls took him down, and you're the muscle. And she just and totally disgusted, pulls her knife out, stands up, kicks the guy in the head because she's just angry at the situation.
Yep.
And then turns and hasn't even noticed that Inget's there at all. Period.
Yep.
There was a fire. I mean, there was a shot fired from somewhere. She doesn't care what that was, and now starts being very concerned of Sasha and turns her back to Laz. She is visibly angry at him.
Awesome. And then you would see, sort of like the camera pan out, almost as if like a droid was hovering above, kind of, filming the whole thing, right? And then there's like a dissolve, and then it opens back up again, back onto, Gom Slatos's.
And I never turned the comms off. I'm gonna tell you straight off.
Okay. Okay. You did not turn them off. All right.
Yeah, I did not turn them off. I told the guy I did, but I never did it.
Perfect. And so, Hemi, you would have heard this whole thing over the comms. How would you react to that?
I think Hemi would just be like, at first he would be screaming into the comm, trying to get their attention. But as it became more clear what was going on there, he would kind of, in frustration, like take the comm and slam it down into the bag, and kind of get a little angry at the doc behind me and say, "Where the hell have you sent them? Jesus, they're getting blasted." Not Jesus. I keep saying that.
That's all right.
What would be a good alternative
I mean, you can use Criff for so much. They're getting Criff and blasted. You know?
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll just use that as
Yeah, nice. And I think maybe like I don't know if you would have ever seen an angry Athorian before, but you have heard that if they get real angry, they can let out this bellow. That is pretty harmful. Like it could hurt you, and you see him starting to sort of puff up a little bit, but you kind of are just recognizing this as he just seems angry, and he says, "Listen." And before he was kind of jovial with you, he's not now. He says, "I don't work for free. Your companions brought you to me. I do not like to let someone suffer needlessly, but I sent them on a job. If they succeed, well, then they will have proven that they can work for someone such as the Pikes, or," and then he spits, "huts if you still choose to follow that foolish plan. If your companions don't succeed, well, they are not useful to you here on the Smuggler's Moon." And then kind of goes back to what he's doing, but he's definitely angry with you.
Yeah, and by like the time he was even done talking, like my hands came up. You know, I know when I'm in a situation that I'm not the boss of. So he's kind of like, I'm like, okay. And he's just kind of looking at the comm, and he's got the volume lowered, but he can still hear, I imagine right now, like the tail end, not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as you're kind of like pondering over that and worrying a little bit, Gum kind of starts making his way over to you, and he says, "It is not good for someone in your condition to get agitated." And he has a syringe in his hand, and he says, "If you will, I can help you calm yourself a little bit." And he doesn't seem to be like forcing it, but he's definitely suggesting like, "You should let me stick you with this needle."
I'd rather not. I can stay calm. They might need me though. You know what? If it comes to that.
And says, "Very well, but if I start to see any signs of distress, I'm afraid you will not have a choice." And
No. I'll be solemn as a Jedi.
and he looks at you like with sort of surprised, eyes, and he's like, "I wouldn't take someone such as yourself as someone who would believe in foolish stories like that." And then he he would kind of turn away, chuckling a little bit, just shaking his head, like, talking about Jedi. What do who is this guy? And I think it's at this point that you would probably become aware of the fact that whatever the Bacta patch on you and whatever maybe cocktail of drugs he's given you has flushed your system of the drugs that you're normally used to taking.
Oh.
Yeah, and you're not feeling so good. So we're gonna cut back to the Duros Undercity, but do you have actually, you know what? I'll grab my copy of the book. I'm gonna look up because I believe you took Neutron Pixie, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So I'm gonna look up the side effects as we cut back, and I'll narrate the other scene. But yeah, you're basically under the you're going through withdrawal now.
Now, I don't want to take up too much time here, but do I have an opportunity? I believe there's an opportunity when I go through withdrawals to go all the way through it and actually get rid of.
Oh yeah. I mean, for
the
sure.
issue.
You can go through it and suffer it. And I mean, you're not in any immediate danger per se, at least not that you are aware of. It's just gonna suck.
Yeah.
But for now, yeah, I mean, you can just go through it. He may or may not notice. So it depends on whether you want to try to hide that from him.
Well, yeah, I think I would actually be trying. I don't want. I mean, the Pike thing sounded like a pretty good deal, and I don't really want to blow it by him finding out I'm an addict to Neutron Pixie.
Yep, absolutely. Alrighty. And in the meantime, we cut back, and it's at this point that Ingot, you finally enter the scene. So if you will, go ahead and describe kind of what you look like and how you enter this sort of chaotic scene.
Ingot's gonna just kind of like walk out of the shadows, and he's like a homebrew type droid, so he's kind of like hodgepodge looking, got like a bluish look to him, and he has like a spice stogie in his mouth. I mean, he's a droid, so it doesn't really like do anything. But they're like aesthetics, and he has a little heart tattoo that says "Papa" on it on his left arm shoulder, and he kind of holsters his rifle, and he points at it and he says, "Dad, are continued to terminate."
And Laz, I think, is taken aback by Zaya's angry look and what happened. But Zaya, you may kind of be aware of this, and you would have heard him say "dead" or "continue to terminate."
He's dead, my dear.
And then Ingot will shoot off 2 blaster bolts and say, following what they call 58.
Laz?
And Laz kind of snaps back to it and says, "Oh yeah, this is the help that I brought. See?" And you can see like this. And Anthony, how big is Ingot? Would he be sort of like the same size as like a battle droid or like a protocol droid?
He's actually like smaller. He's he's made by an Ugnaught, so he's probably I'd say like 4'7" or 6. So he's not like, he's kind of like a between a teenager.
Yep.
It's like a teenager's height.
And is he blue?
Like a blue Durasteel, like
Yeah.
kind of like titanium would look, but like a blue steel type thing. And he would at this point turn to Laz and kind of say, "Continue to source of credits, must maintain contract obligations."
And Laz is sort of like, yes, wait, maybe stick with us, and I would be willing to bet that there will be credits in it for you at the end, but we're not out of this yet. And then he kind of looks back and he says, "Have we found the?" And then he can hear the snarling. "Oh, I guess we have found what we're looking."
Lazarus, what have you brought us?
And he says, "Well, this is Ingot."
And you're actually going to hear through the comm because Hemi's turned it back up. He goes, "It's obviously a droid, Zaya."
No kidding. Thanks, Hemi.
Will you guys get back here?
Well, we haven't.
I'm
we
gonna
haven't,
need
we haven't completed the mission
everybody
yet.
to calm the hell down and quiet down back there. The coil tight. And did I hear we got a body back there?
I may or may not have killed somebody.
You might
Affirmative.
be ready. These things, it may appease them.
Us girls think exactly the same. Laz? And she just looks back and is fuming mad at him. Pick him up and throw him into the pit. Now. And she bats her eyes at him.
Oh, did you say you picked the Gans
Oh, I can't
corpse
pick
up?
it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not picking that thing up. I'm telling Laz to do it.
Oh, okay.
Could Ingot like scan the face of the Gand and kind of tap, like just do a knowledge check to see if there's an existing contract on this guy?
Yeah, go ahead and do knowledge underworld or knowledge outer rim. And I'm gonna say this is gonna just be against we'll just do a standard 2 purple. But because of the sort of the fact that like Sasha was like, everybody calm the hell down, and there's still peril, you're somewhat distracted. So I'm gonna set a black dice as well.
And Hemi's going to put his hand to his ear and just say, "Did you say dispose of a gank?
Yes, Hemi.
Is there any way you could get that back here?"
And
The
so
bottom.
actually, it's not a gank; it's a Gand.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said gank. I'm sorry.
No, it's one of those ugly fuckers. No, it's one of those ugly kiffers. It's not. You want this guy, Hemi?
No. Never mind. I thought he had said gank.
All right,
Carcass has no value. Dispose.
We are going to terminate this call. No, Hem. We'll contact you when we're done.
All right, and with that, Sasha,
Rude, you,
these
bud.
guys
You're a little
aren't
distracting.
these guys aren't messing around anymore. 2 of these creatures come out, and they basically are coming at you. So what I want everyone to do for me at this point is to roll initiative. And you should actually on your sheet have I believe it says initiative on it. It'll be like in your, I think it's maybe under combat details.
Yeah,
It'll be either
yeah,
your
it's on the
cool or your vigilance. In this case, I want everybody to roll vigilance, but Sasha, you can choose if you have cool or vigilance, whichever one you better.
Okay.
Because you were sort of prepared for this, where everyone else is kind of caught off guard.
Right. Sadly, my vigilance is better.
Yeah.
Mine is not.
Yes.
Distrack it. Oh, did. Yes, I got the turn order. Excellent. All right. Happy about that.
Is that something you can display?
Yeah, can you? Well, I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me take a look.
I see it.
Oh no, I see it. I see it here now.
All right.
I don't know
So
what it means.
Yeah.
I can see it.
So it looks like my guys. As the game goes, you don't have individual slots. You have PC and NPC slots. And so what this means right now is that,
Right.
the first number on the left is successes. So one of you guys rolled 2 successes and 1 advantage, right? And so I've ordered it here so that a PC goes first, then another PC, then another. So, sorry, you cut out there on my end. What were you saying?
So it doesn't. It's not like D&D. It doesn't matter for. It's just we get to choose who goes.
Yeah. So based on the scene and kind of like what you think makes sense, you guys can decide who goes first. But one of you gets to go first. Now, I will suggest that I would think it would make sense for Sasha to go first, but
Clearly.
it certainly doesn't have to be.
No, clearly. I would say at least. I don't know what's the rest of the group think.
I'm fine with any order.
Laz will do what I tell him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sort of the way I was looking at it was because, Sasha, you were sort of almost prepared for this. You were expecting something. The fiction, it sort of makes sense. I think that you would.
Yeah.
That you would be ready.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. So
So
you can act first. So right now you're still on the ground, and these guys are probably at short range, getting closer to you. What would you like to do?
right. Fire on one of them, I think.
Okay. And do remember too that you, if have you equipped your tranquilizer thing yet, or are you firing your regular slugs?
I have not equipped it yet.
Okay.
That's but we have 2 of them, so
That's fine if you want to shoot. I just wanted to make sure that that there was clarity there. So yeah, if you want to take a shot at him, you certainly can. At short range, did you still want to do that?
yeah.
Okay. Do you want to like kind of stand there and take aim at them?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll get you a boost dice.
Kind of aiming the whole time. I've been like,
Okay.
you know.
Yep, absolutely. So for aiming, you'll get a boost dice on that. You still have the standard setback because they're close in on you. It's a little bit easier to hit one of them. So it's only a one, but I'm going to upgrade it with a dark side. Right? And so you're looking at basically 1 red, 1 black, and you get a blue. I don't imagine you'll have much trouble with this, but let's see.
Now remember, we need to keep at least 1 alive.
2.
Okay, so now let's hit this. There we go.
Excellent.
Hit it.
You got it. So you got a success. Good deal.
There.
Okay.
So, oh no. Sorry, I'm being there for a minute. All right. Yeah, so you managed to fire right into bullet right into the thing, goes and kind of hits it, and okay. And you can see this like little spurt of blood, but it doesn't seem to make like real good contact. I think because this thing was moving at you, you hit it, but not tremendously well. And so you've hurt it, but it is still there. And I'm gonna say you kind of got this one.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. I also like kind of back move myself closer to the wall so that I can give
Yeah, so this is where I am going to actually enforce the game rules. Because you took a maneuver to aim, if you want to take another maneuver, you have to spend 2 points of strain. But yes, you could essentially take 2 points of strain and, kind of with this great effort, basically, you also just kind of make yourself shuffle back over to the wall. Yeah, you can do that. Are you able to move your token?
Yeah, but I can't find my... I'll have to find that in a second. So... I don't know how far you can back up reasonably, but...
Well, I mean, you can probably go, to like right there or something. I would say, you can move a range band, so short range, meters.
I'm just... Right.
Yeah. But just kind of try to get up the wall. All right. Gotcha.
Then I need to mark my strain, which I'm up to. You said 2?
Yeah, so, yep, you would have taken 2 strain to do that maneuver.
Okay.
All right. So we got another PC next. Who wants to go next?
How far are these things from like just where I'm at? Curious if I should wait for them to get closer or if I'm in range.
Currently where you're placed, Ingot, you would still be kind of down in that alleyway. If you were to move up, I would say that would be a maneuver, and then it would be a long range shot. No, I would say actually if you were to move up like where the Gand token kind of is or right next to that, it would probably just be a medium shot at that point.
Okay, that'd be like medium range?
Yeah, yep. Where you are now, you couldn't really shoot at them because you're in like a hallway kind of.
Okay, I'll if anybody doesn't matter, I'll go next and take a shot at one of these things. We need them alive, you said? It's gonna go terminate or capture organisms.
And Sasha, you would probably hear that at that point as Ingot is kind of moving up.
Capture 1.
Okay, Inget's gonna move up with one maneuver. He's gonna take a second maneuver of 2 strain to aim at the lower Rakor, and I'm going to fire on stun.
Okay, so whenever you are ready, dice pool is set. Go for it.
Do you want me to add my aim boost, or do you add that?
I already did. Yep.
Sweet.
Boy. All right.
Oh man! Again.
That is brutal. So, what I will say then is, oh boy. All right. Yeah. So you fire right, and the shot goes kind of wide, bounces off of or kind of embeds into like the Duracrete wall right next to this thing. It snarls. Right, and it's definitely like looking at you now, but it's far enough away, and it can still see Sasha. But you do have those 3 advantages. Do you have any idea what you want to do with those?
I like to give a setback dice to those creatures.
Okay, now keep in mind there is another PC action before they go, so you could give the next person a boost dice if you'd prefer.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll get a boost dice to the next PC.
Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So that's what you got. Inga is currently sort of taking aim, but unfortunately, because of the gloom and all of the pollution and sort of Sasha in the way, the shot went wild. Now, Laz would kind of look to you, Zaya, and he would say, "Well, muscle's here now. Shall I show you what I can do?" And he kind of gives you this little smirk. And Zaya, you are muted if you're trying to talk.
And of course I was. And okay, so she snaps her head at him and goes, "No, the ones that were here and helpful are the ones that go next." And I'm going to go next.
Okay, absolutely.
So she is going to. I just need to get back to the screen. I was looking at other things. I'm going to move right here.
Okay.
And I'm going to use inspiring rhetoric.
Okay. And go ahead and play out this inspiring rhetoric. How are you going to inspire your companions?
I don't know who you are, but you keep shooting at the things we need, so I think I like you. But Sash, they seem to respond to pleasantry. Is it correct?
That is correct.
Okay, good. You're good, girl. Don't worry about it. We got this. There's nobody more pleasant in the world than me. If we stop shooting at them, maybe I can calm them. I can calm any beast in the world.
Give it a try. I've got that
And
trait for the other one.
yeah, so I would like to roll a leadership check, but on this move, I'm going to roll a leadership check and see if I can recover strain for you two. We're gonna do that.
All right. I think what I'm gonna say then in this case is we're gonna put that against a. I'm gonna put that actually against a 3 difficulty because this is a tough situation. You guys have the numbers, but Sasha has made it clear, like, man, we got to make sure at least one of these guys makes it out alive. You will get a boost though because of Ingot's good shooting.
Right. But it also says clearly. It says clearly in the description of it that it is difficulty of 2.
Oh, it does. Okay, good. Then thank you. So then you have a difficulty of 2. I'm gonna use my dark side point though.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not.
So whenever you're ready.
We're gonna double point that.
Haters gonna hate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you gonna use a point as well? Okay, well then you get an upgrade as well.
Yeah, we need. I need my people to be all right. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Dice are set.
The dice are set. All right, let's be a leader as she's trying to be. Ah,
Woohoo!
about that.
Excellent. And remind me again what the benefit is.
Okay, so they each get to recover 1 strain. I didn't get any advantages because of the threats.
Right.
But if I would have gotten advantages, they would have gotten 2.
And do they recover 1 strain per success?
1 strain. I'm just about to read it. I have it right here. 1 strain for each success.
Okay.
For each success, one ally within close range, which that's why I put myself in between them, recovers 1 strain. For each advantage, one ally benefiting from it would get an additional strain, but I didn't have any.
So just to understand the mechanics, and so that's 3 total strain that can be recovered between the 2 of them.
No,
They
for
would
each.
get 3
Yep.
strain to recover.
Oh, each. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh wait, nope.
No?
One ally within close range recovers
Oh.
1. For each success, one ally within close range recovers 1 strain. So I have 3 strain that I can do. So I'm going to give 2 to Sasha and 1 to the guy I don't know.
Gotcha. All right. Excellent. And unfortunately, as Zaya is in here talking, right, and kind of inspiring you guys and pumping you up and making you feel better, that does not do anything to make the Rakordan happy. And so I'm going to use those 2 those 2 threat to give them a boost on their next check. Sasha, since you shot at them and you're the closest, they're coming for you. So they're coming in, and one of them is going to try to hurt you. So let's see.
Ouchie.
Yup. All right. Now, remind me, do you have any defense? I don't think you do, but it would be probably written on your sheet. No? Okay. Let's see. Well, I don't think they're going to immediately try to sting you with their nasty tails. So this one, I got to set close range. They're going to get. Oh. Upgrade.
Waiting.
Let's do. Oh, bummer.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah, because you needed 3 yellow dice.
Yeah, really.
Remember at the beginning
he
how I
needed that.
said if you make it through this mission successfully?
Yeah.
These things, yeah. Also, this is a good lesson. Trust your instincts and climb up on shit. Just saying. Hold on.
Climb
Okay. So, what? 1. All right. So, Sasha, you are going to take. I want to do the crit. All right. I think, Sasha, you should have on your sheet under the, I believe under the combat section, I think there is a, it says critical or something
There's
along
a
those lines.
critical
Yeah.
injury.
Do you see that? Go ahead and roll that for me or click the button for me. Oh. All right. So you do have a critical injury. You are staggered, so you cannot perform an action on your next turn, which really sucks in this case.
That really sucks.
You also take 5 points of damage, but what's your soak normally?
3.
3. Okay, so this has Pierce 1. So basically, effectively count that as 2 soak for right now. So you're going to take 3 damage
Okay.
from the first one. I'm not going to use another dark side point. That second one, and
Ah!
I think he's just going to have a straight up thing here. Okay, so this, if he gets... Actually, you know what? The other one, seeing that you're injured here... No, yeah, they work in a pack, so he's going to try to get you.
Yeah, wolf.
Try to... Oh! Well, I mean, they're in real close, and you got no defense. They're pretty good. Okay. So, ooh, but he's going to hurt you here. And... Okay. You are going to take stun damage or strain damage on this one. You don't take any physical damage. He pierces into you with his or with its stinger, and you can start to feel this like this poison, something leaking into you, right? And you start to feel like almost a little bit woozy. And so what you'll do is you'll basically so it was 6, 7, 8, 9. He's got Pierce 1. Ouch. So you take 8 strain, 7 strain damage.
Okay, that's all my strain. I'm at my.
So all right, so you're at 0 strain.
I assume I'm at 12.
Sorry, you've
you
met
up,
your
right?
strain threshold. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So in this game, that does not necessarily affect you until you exceed your threshold. So right now, you are, you're hurt, but you're still okay. However, you won't be able to take your next action. But that was their action. So we got another PC up.
Lazarus.
So I believe that's Laz, and Laz is going to be like, ah! And because I don't have any him, here we go. This. Gonna use. Can somebody flip a light side point for me?
Yep, gotcha.
If you guys are okay with that, I assume you are because he's helping here. Thank you. All right, he wants to press Saya and save his friends. Okay, gonna attack with his blades.
Like he wants to appease Zaya.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so he manages to kind of come in on the one, unfortunately not the injured one, but this guy right here. And Laz kind of leaps in and jams one of his blades into this creature, and he definitely hurts it. But what the other thing that he does is he kind of like with his other hand he grabs it and he sort of flips it over. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to effectively use those 3 advantages to say that he's got this thing like pinned and he's almost wrestling with it. So this guy is effectively sort of incapacitated for the moment. Laz on.
No.
All right. And you can see this struggle, and you can hear the right. And Laz is like, yeah, he's kind of punching at it, and he's still got his blade stuck in it. And so, let me, Hemi, did you roll just out of curiosity in initiative?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so just delete that last part.
4 to what? 5.
Because it's the bottom of the order.
Right.
Yeah, but that should have been the bottom of the order because Laz was the last one.
Right. No. When it was showing it before, it showed like a couple PC on top NPC and then a couple of PC below.
Yeah, so this right, yeah, so we should be
Let's see. No,
did I miss one? Maybe I missed
yeah, only the four of us rolled.
Well, I think we had 3
Um,
PCs, right? And then NPCs. Then yeah.
or just
Well, whatever. I don't care. At this point, this is how I'm going to set it. So you get 3 of you get to go. However, Sasha does not get to act in this turn. She's dazed. That doesn't necessarily mean anything just yet. But who's going to go next?
Zaya is going to see her best friend in the world. Having this animal at bay, and she is going to come over and do what she does best. And go stabby, stabby.
Okay. So you got a little stabby here. These guys don't have any defense. Okay. You are going to have a setback dice here because guy is like wrestling basically. And dice, but you're in close range. Melee is 2. Okay. All right. Whenever you're ready. So you've got basically 2 purple and 1 black.
Okay. Let's see if this works, because I don't know if I did this thing right, but of course, because she's not supposed to be stabbing things. She's not supposed to be stabbing things. That's not what she does, but she doesn't know that.
Makes a good attempt. Do you want to describe the scene with your failure?
Yeah. She runs over and like I said, it's not the first time that Laz has jumped on somebody, and she has with her blade, and she's struck still. First off, by the fact that Lazarus was not here, and this, if we were all together, this wouldn't have happened. And it also, she saw Sasha get stung, so on and so forth. So she's a little shook by that, and she just is still looking at Sasha, who may be twitching or whatever, and she just misses, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And Ingot, you see this happening. I assume you are probably going to go next.
He'll move closer to get into a short range.
Okay.
So I move him real quick.
Stun it.
Is that short, or you want me to move him one more up?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. He'll take second maneuver, take strain to aim, and he'll pull out his blaster on stun and say, odds of next hit, most likely 95%. And he's going to use a destiny point as well to make sure he does this.
Yeah.
Hey, no, I don't want to be mean to you this round. Okay, so that's fine. So I've included the upgrade. You're in short range. Whoa, I don't want to set that. Okay, but I'm also imposing 2 setback as well. One for Laz wrestling with this thing, and one for Zaya basically kind of being in there and trying to get all stabby with it as well.
Okay, and I'll get the boost for aiming though.
Yes, yep. You got the boost for aiming, and you got the upgrade.
Are you shooting at the one that we're engaged with, or the other one?
The one to after Sasha.
Oh, the one that's after Sasha?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, well then, yeah, that's much easier. There's still a setback because, well, no, yeah, you're good. No setback. Should happily take care. Oh my god.
What is the hell? Oh my god. Okay. I can't believe that. GM must be rigging game. I'm kidding. This is crazy. Okay. See the 2 advantage. Can I spend that to give the next person a boost die?
Yes. You can.
And can I have thing on Sasha kind of like disengage from her, maybe? Like,
yeah,
it got scared away, so it's gonna like move off a little bit.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
think
sense?
I think that's a good use of a triumph. Absolutely. I think it backs off at at the sight of its companion basically being manhandled, and then your shot kind of scared it off as well. Yeah, so I'll say that it backs up for sure. I think that makes sense. Absolutely. All right. And so, Sasha, you can't take an action this round because you're basically stunned, but you're trying to fight off the effects of this poison. But you could still like maneuver and stuff. So what do you think you would want to do at this point?
Cool. So I imagine she probably doesn't feel up to climbing. She's gonna back up some more. She's probably kind of staggering, and her arms backs the heck up a little.
Okay.
And she probably starts to fumble with be there. Oh, no, it won't let me be there.
Yeah, so it's all squares. See, I can see the squares underneath.
They're not snapping in their spot. I really kind of want to be like hereish. There we go.
I think I just kind of put the map down. I didn't like lock it to grid or whatever. So.
No,
So, and I think she'll start fumbling with the trank dart. And Zaya
Well,
try to trank that one.
I think that in this case, the one that is wrestling with Laz is gonna try to bite him essentially. And I think what we'll do is I'll resolve this next action, and then if you guys are all right with it, maybe we'll take like a 5-minute break, and then we back to it.
Yeah, clearly.
Cool. All right. So let
Sounds
me
good to me.
see first though what this guy's. He's gonna have a setback because since Sasha didn't necessarily get to use that boost that got had, I'm gonna turn that into a setback for this guy, if that's all right.
Yeah, clearly.
Give him another one because he's basically pinned. Gonna try to use his stinger because I think that makes. Bam! Ooh, nice. Okay. So you guys would see as Laz is sort of trying to roll this thing around, right? And this stinger of this creature kind of like comes down and tries to get Laz right in the back. And as Laz sort of
tap.
yeah, exactly, right. You maybe are calling that out, and he kind of moves at the last minute. And what happens is he ends up disengaging from this thing because he has to roll away. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use all of that advantage that he's going to move back as well. He's going to disengage. So he kind of gets out of the area. Now you guys can still see them. But just barely. They would be kind of at the edge of your glow rod. But they're still hanging out in there. And so I think what we'll do is we are going to, if you guys are all right with it, maybe we'll take like 5 minutes, reconvene back at 10:05 Eastern, and then go from there.
Sounds great.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good.
Sorry about the dice cuts for Ingrid. Something's wrong with his targeting today.
That's all right.
You should see how
bad?
Me every time I rolled.
Man, it was really bad.
It was pretty bad.
I'll be back in a couple.
To blow it up the other day. I succeeded. Gotta run and take another break. Be back.
All right.
I'm here.
Hey, man, this has gotten to dole out 2 critical hits so far. One to Hemi, one to
Brutal.
Sasha. For
Sometimes the dice go that way, sometimes.
yeah. Well, it's so funny because it's one of the things that weirds me out about this system. Like, normally I like games that have that sort of high level of danger. But it's like in Star Wars, it's sort of weird. Like, you almost expect it to be a little more heroic, and like you can get taken out in 2 shots. But I feel like Edge of the Empire is deadly and dangerous, and depending on what you're doing in Age of Rebellion, that can be too. So it's so weird because it makes sense, but it's also like, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, that's part of the fun.
Oh, shout.
The good news is my man's actually better in melee than he is with his range. So I'm just trying to stun these stupid things, so I don't want to like cut him in half.
Right.
But if it gets to that point, he's gonna have to just kill him.
Oh yeah.
Or run away.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think Laz is better with melee as well. It was funny because when Jimmy made the character, he made him like a melee focused guy, and I'm like, "Are you sure you want to play a Twi'lek? Because they have like I think a 1 in brawn to start with or something." But yeah, he wanted the concept, so I was like, "All right, cool." But I kind of dig it. I like the melee focused characters because you don't see it a lot in Star Wars. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. I figured if there's ever a need for stealth, that's why it's in handy to like kill someone with a knife or something.
Yeah, for sure. All right, who all is back?
I'm back.
Batman's back.
Gotham needs you, Batman.
I'm here.
Excellent.
Oh,
Sasha back yet?
that gif was great, Anthony.
Oh yeah, I figured Beauty Queen matches Zaya.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well, I think what I'm going to do for right now is I'm actually going to jump it back to Hemi for a minute.
Yeah.
And we'll see when Sasha gets back. She can pop it in the chat or whatever. Unless she's trying to right now, but is muted. But anyway, so Hemi, you probably heard all of this stuff going on over the comms, right? And I would imagine that it sort of doesn't sound good. But you're also now kind of like a little bit woozy and having a bit of a tough time because of the effects, coming off of the neutron pixie. So how are you reacting at this point?
Yeah, I think right now I'm kind of like literally curled around the comm, just kind of like there's a light sheen to me. I'm sweating. I look paler than my usual blue skin, and I'm kind of hurled around the comm, trying not to show any signs of it to the doctor, and also to not get worked up like he had warned me about before. But it's basically just a big bowl of nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as you're sort of doing that, he kind of you would hear him sort of from behind you be like, "Are you feeling all right? I don't want you throwing up all over my surgical table."
Well, I'm fine. I'm fine. The Bacta batch is. I feel much better now.
And he says, "It may not work on Doros all that much, but I can tell when someone's lying. Just listen. If you end up feeling sick, there's a basket right over there. And he kind of points. You sort of have to look at him, which maybe like makes you even a little more woozy as you move your head and then you move your head back. And it's basically just this bucket of like parts and like flimsy plast and whatever. But he's like, don't get anything on my table. That'll cost you extra. But then he sort of changes the tone a little bit and he says, "Oh, how are your friends doing?" And you can sort of pick up from his tone that he's genuinely curious. He wants to know, do they seem like they're going to be okay or succeed or whatever.
Doesn't sound good, to be honest.
Kind of gets this look on his face, sort of a saddened look, and he's like, "Well, hope for all of our sakes, prosper, succeed."
Yeah. And he grabs the bucket.
Nice. And Anthony, are you still here?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, good. All right, cool. Wasn't sure if you dropped for a minute or not. All right, perfect. So we'll cut back to the scene. These two guys have basically rushed. Laz has basically adjusted and kind of gotten out of the way of this thing. And he looks to Zaya and then he looks to Sasha and he says, "Sasha, we need one of these things alive, right?"
That's right.
And then he kind of looks to Zaya, and Zaya, he would sort of catch your eye, and you would see just like a small part of his lip curl up into a half smile, and you would probably recognize that as what he does when he's about to do something reckless.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of just nods at you without saying anything. And then you can tell that he's just about to like his body tenses and like he's about to move. He's about to go somewhere. But you have like a split second if you want to do or say something.
Don't do anything dumb, Laz. Laz? And her voice gets louder as I'm assuming he's going.
Yeah, and he says as he's kind of starts running and he's like, "All right, Sasha, I'll get one for you." And then he's like, "Time to go hunting." And he basically like runs in and leaps into the like, into the darkness at this point. He like kind of leaps right out of the light, and you could hear a bunch of snarling and whatever. And as of right now, you guys can't see Laz, but you can hear like, some yelps and some him like, whatever. And what are you guys gonna do?
Laz, Sasha's gonna move forward. I don't know.
And you can take an action now.
So she's going to, I don't know how far she can move, but
Well, what do you want to do? Yeah.
Closer. She's been rigging up the trank gun, and she's going to get ready to shoot the first one that comes into sight with that trank.
Okay. And are you going to stay on this level, or are you going to like attempt to gain any kind of elevation or what?
Climb up.
You want to climb up? Okay. Gotcha.
I'm going to try to climb up here. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So what I'm going to do then, that is, again, that's going to be, I think a 2 difficulty, and I'm going to impose 1 setback as well. But other than that, yeah, you should be able to climb up. So if you want to make an athletics roll for me, or I guess,
all right.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. our light side?
You got 2
Sure.
light side and there's 3 dark side right now.
I'm just gonna climb. I'm fine.
Famous last words. Let's see. Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. So you so you managed to kind of like I would imagine you put your blaster or your plug thrower like on your back, and you kind of find a handhold and a foothold, and you sort of climb your way up, and some like Duracrete kind of falls under, kind of comes off the wall, breaks off a little bit as like you manage to kind of climb your way up to the top. I am ooh, God, I could hit you with 1 point of strain, and that would take you right down, wouldn't it?
That would.
I won't do that. I won't be that mean to you. But what I am gonna do is I'm going to impose a setback on the next person to act, because you guys are kind of watching Sasha. Like, she's in a bad way, but she's kind of the key to this mission right now. And you're also sort of distracted because Laz did something stupid. So Sasha, you've been able to climb up. So you moved. So that was your maneuver. You used your action to climb up here. So on your next action, you should be able to you'll be able to do something at that point.
Okay.
All right. So let's. You went. All right. So. I don't care about the. So anyway, I'm gonna say you guys get to go next. We're sort of not necessarily in initiative order anymore because I want to play this a little bit more cinematic. So, who's gonna go next?
Robot. If you could shoot something this time, do you have a stun setting?
Affirmative.
Stunned, please.
Yeah. And I'm gonna move up to see how close would I have to get to see that thing, or can I see them from where I'm at, or?
I would say you'd
or is
have
it
to
like
make
darkness?
you'd have to make at least one maneuver to get into range to be able to see them. Yeah.
Okay. And would I be like at medium range or short range?
Yeah,
if
you'd
I
be at
use a
medium
maneuver?
range at this point.
Okay, I think I'm going to take a second maneuver to strain and get into short range.
Okay. That's fine, absolutely. And then are you still going to take a shot, you think?
Yep, and then
Oops.
Oh, you cut out there on me for a minute.
We lost Yancy.
Oh no. We lost audio. Bummer.
Big bummer.
Well, it goes to show that you can't, even with Discord, there's still tech issues. That's all
Yep.
right.
Hey, I'm back. I'm back.
Perfect.
I'm over.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So I'm on the phone, so I'm just gonna roll in Discord. If that's
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
So I will use the destiny point. If someone could flip that for me,
Yeah, I'll flip it.
and let's see here.
All right.
Last setting.
So
roll.
you are looking. So you're at short range. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. So what would be my dice pool for difficulty? Would it be?
So you're going to be looking at 1 purple.
Yep.
You're going to be looking at 1 black for a setback dice, because there's just one, because of all the gloom and everything in here. It's just difficult to see. And I'm going to say, yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Just 1 and 1.
See. Cross.
Nice. Okay, now. So you
The
flipped your
damage
weapon
on
to
my
stun?
weapon is, the damage on the weapon is 9. So 10, 11, right? For the 2 successes.
Yep. Okay. Let me just take a look.
And if they look really stunned or not, I mean they are just about there. I could use a destiny point to use my assassin ability to add 3 damage or 3 damage on top of that. I don't know if I would need to do that though. I don't know if everybody else would want me. I'm just saying I do have a talent that would allow that.
You won't
I'd
need
be
to in
totally
this
okay.
case. You actually do manage to stun this one. Right here. Yeah, so you manage to stun him, and he kind of falls down into a bit of a heap.
I turn around to Zaya and say, "Target has been stunned."
Well done, robot.
I kind of take game at the next thing for my
Okay.
next.
And because we're kind of doing this narratively now and not necessarily in initiative order, I will let you guys decide who you want to go next. You don't have to go in turn.
Trank the other. Trank the other. Sasha.
Okay.
Is
The
she
other?
person?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could trank one of them, but if this guy is stunned, in theory,
We
you know,
could
one of
draw
you guys
the.
could run down and try to. I mean, Sasha's got the needle, but if she, in the thing, but if she were to drop it down to Zaya or whatever, I mean, I don't know if you want to do that.
Yeah, she doesn't shoot things. She has enough time stabbing things.
Here, grab the venom while it's down.
All right. So what? All right. What does?
So didn't want.
All right. So Zaya moves up even with where Ingrid is. Okay. And what does she see that's happening to Laz at this point?
So
'Cause she can-
yeah, so basically
right?
what she sees is a heap of these guys all kind of like clawing and whatever, and you can see like, Laz's blades kind of like slashing and there's blood. He's basically underneath like three of these guys, and you can hear yelps of pain from them. You don't hear much from Laz, but you can tell that there is still a struggle going on. You can't really see him though.
Um. Does Zaya know what she's supposed to do to remove this venom sac?
Yeah, I mean, basically, they sort of told you, Gomslatos told you that what you would need to do is take the needle and stick it into the little sack before, like right behind the thing, and just extract as much venom as you can. And then there's like a little like almost like a chill sort of refrigerator unit thing that you basically would just put the contents.
Okay. Yeah. She doesn't know. She doesn't know this. She doesn't know this droid, so she's not gonna trust the droid to do this. She will run over to where Sasha is. Give it to me. Give it to me.
I toss it to her.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's fine. So she sort of tosses this unit down to you, and it's it's a little thing, and it's got like the needle on the on the side of it, and whatever, you can just detach it.
Hey, droid, can you cover me? I have to extract a fluid out of this creature. Can you cover me and try not to shoot the Twi'lek?
Roger.
And she runs up to try to do the process.
All right, absolutely. And so you kind of get in there, and this thing is stunned, and so you could do it, but what you're sort of distracted a little bit because you can see Laz kind of push one of these guys, like one of these creatures, off of him, right, as the other two kind of bite him, and you see he takes this like big gash as one of them sort of like slashes across his chest with their claws, and two of them try to like bring their tails down on him, and he's managing to like sort of dodge out of the way and fend him off, but he lets out this great cry, and again, it sort of looks almost like like when you've got, I think, that scene in the Matrix where Neo's huddled down or whatever, and all the agents are beating on him, and then he like pushes up, and they all go flying. Well,
Yeah.
that happens with like one or two of them. They kind of fly back a little bit, and you see Laz kind of pop up with his knives, and I mean, he is looking real bad. But they are focused on him and they are fighting him. Like he kind of he sees you for a minute, Zaya, and he says, and he just sort of looks at you, and there's lots of pain in his eyes and on his face, and he sees that you have the needle, and he kind of, you see this like grin come across his face, like he's happy that this was what he wanted, and he just sort of nods to you again, and then he turns back, and as he turns back, one of the tails comes up and kind of jams right into his leg. He cries out in pain, ah! But then he like slashes on the tail with his knife and basically cuts it off so that the the venomous stinger or whatever is like in his leg, and this Rakordon like backs off a little bit as he's injured, he cut off his tail. And so as you're seeing this, what are you doing? Are you in the process of extracting this venom, or are you too distracted at what's going on?
She is certainly distracted. She's certainly, but being distracted is. She quickly pops out of it, and this is just Laz being Laz. And the first time he's jumped in the middle of the fray, and he goes, he'll be okay. He always comes. And she does perform the procedure. I would like to use our last light side point to make sure that this is successful.
Okay, you don't need to use a light side point. It will be successful.
Okay.
Absolutely. And so as you kind of feel the venom sac wither a little bit, and you can see this like sort of clear viscous liquid go up into the syringe, and then you kind of take the syringe and you pop it into the little like membrane or whatever on the top of this refrigerated unit, and you push the plunger down, and you can see it go in there, and then like this little panel on the side goes from red to green, and you hear this as like something like seals the unit, and then it basically is you've succeeded. And Laz, you can see now, is like desperately trying to sort of swing his blades and fight and whatever, but he's disoriented. He's starting to succumb to this venom, and just as he makes like one last slash, you see the remaining Rakordon just leap on him, and he goes down underneath this pile. And I think that like he would probably yell out just as they're leaping on him, "Zaya, run!" What do you do?
Well, she gets behind the droid, looks up at Sasha. We're not leaving without at least his body. If he expires, we'll bring him, and maybe the doc can fix him too. Open fire now.
So Sasha has that trank loaded. Can she see you fire at one of those?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you could fire it when they're basically like three of them all just on top of Laz.
One of them ran off injured.
Yeah, oh yeah, well yeah, that's true. So actually, you're right. There's only two at this point because the other one was hurt. So yeah, so
she'll shoot at right on top of him. Switched out to her.
Okay.
Ammo.
So if you were to basically take two aim maneuvers, because you don't really need to move, you could do that. All right, so I don't know if my computer is in the process of crashing on me or not, but if you can add your own dice pool, I'll tell you what to do. On your
Okay.
sheet up at the top, just go to add 2 boost dice. You'll click 2, the up button twice on your boost dice, or you could just click in there and type 2.
Okay.
You're at long range, so you're going to want to do 3 purple
Okay.
and 1 setback, so 1 black.
Okay.
And then I'll write it down, but actually go ahead and put do you see one where it says upgrade? Like on both
Yeah.
sides? On the GM's side, the purple, black, and red side, click 1 for upgrade. I'm using a dark side point.
Of course you are.
So you guys should have 2 light side, 3 a wireless mouse, and I'm wondering if it battery died. But then you can just go, you should still be able to roll your skill as you would normally. So it'd just be a ranged heavy.
Come on, be good to us.
Sasha, are you still there?
Chris, you still there?
She looks like she's still in roll 20.
Oh,
I'm here.
All right. I am going to quickly run up and grab another mouse. She can still roll. Talk amongst yourselves.
haha.
Be right back.
All right, so you all want you get to run there with his vibro sword. Just kill we're gonna kill these other ones, right? That's what we're doing.
Well, I really don't want to leave without Laz's. It's as you'll find out and maybe have heard it is her love. So,
Well, he can get in character would before grabbing the body too.
oh, wonderful. I don't need to know why that is. I'm sure I can figure out why. That's maybe I don't want to. Maybe I don't want Inget to know who I am.
I am back.
Can she flip a point
Can I
again?
upgrade them? Oh, yes, you can. In fact, now I can use my dark side point. So, yes, you can upgrade. Absolutely. In fact, let me go ahead. I'll set the dice pool again. So I believe I had 2
Okay.
setback. Is that right?
Oh, you're back. We can hear you.
Oh, you're back. Okay, cool.
Are you there, Chris?
Me?
Oh. Yeah, we can hear you again. I think.
Yeah, I think you're cutting in and out, but we could hear you.
Yeah, it's very sporadic.
1 setback, 3 purple, 2 boost dice, and you upgraded.
Actually,
And I want to upgrade.
All right, so 3 purple. You said 1 boost dice, 1 setback dice.
2 boost dice. You said earlier.
2 boost dice. Okay. 1
That's
setback. All right,
both
and
up.
then yeah, if you want to flip a light side point, and then I'll give you the upgrade there. All right, so Sasha, you clear your dice pool because I've set it on mine, and then go ahead and roll whenever you're.
Okay.
Roll it up, girl.
Oh,
Oh
my God.
my good God.
Then
Well,
That's a whole lot of failure. Okay. So you don't succeed. You fire the trank dart. The trank dart goes and buries itself into into the ground and breaks. Now, you realize that like you're not going to be able to to save, you know, Laz at all. Like whatever's going to happen, it's, you know, you don't have time. Now, Zaya has recovered the venom, and do you have any ideas what you guys want to do with that triumph and with those two advantages?
We're gonna get the hell out of Dodge.
yeah,
Okay.
we've got to.
And on the way, Zaya's gonna pick up the rifle that was on the ground from the guy that attacked her.
Yeah, absolutely. From the Gand. Yep. For sure. And so you can definitely do that. And I think you guys would see that like like Laz is basically being attacked, and they won't follow you. They are basically like chowing down at this point on Laz, and you hear like the last couple screams and whimpers or whatever. But you know that it was basically his efforts that helped, along with Ingot and his good shot there, that helped you guys succeed. So you guys are basically booking it out of there.
Come on,
Yeah.
droid, let's go.
Okay.
We have to.
You're
Affirmative.
coming with us.
So what I'll say then is that the triumph, you will make it back to the original spot, where you guys, I believe, did you guys take I can't remember if you took a
Yeah.
repulsor lift down.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you guys basically make it back to the lift. You have the venom. Everything is kind of whatever. You also would have recovered, Ingot, from the Gand, a credit chip with an unknown amount of credits on it, and a data pad that is currently encrypted.
Sweet Ingot's gonna throw it in his little whatever he's the coat thing he wears, so he's gonna put that in there.
Nice. And so as you're heading back up to the surface, you manage to, well, actually, what do you do as you're heading back up to the surface? So far you don't seem in any immediate danger.
That humanoid promise of credits. He is now dead, deceased.
Zaya is on the lift, standing in a corner of the lift. Go back to it, and just stunned. Just he's not here with her.
And would you guys have been saying anything? Would you have, I mean, because I imagine Hemi would have heard some of this stuff over the comm, but I don't know if it would have necessarily been evident that Laz died. What do you guys think?
Hemi is actually not paying attention at this time. He's
Okay.
puking, so I had already decided he's not
Okay.
listening at this moment, and he's kind of mumbling, "I'm not gonna get any more of that damn neutron pixie. I'm done with this."
And is he puking into the bucket, or is he puking all over the?
No, he's being subtle and clean about it.
Okay.
Into the bucket it goes.
Nice. All right. And so yeah, so as you guys kind of make your way back up, I believe that there was a person there that kind of outfitted you with, you know, the stuff that you needed, right? The the person that
Yeah.
kind of like leads the tours or whatever down here, or sort of coordinates them. And so as you kind of get back up and how did it go? Hey, where's your friend? That whole thing. And basically there is a speeder waiting for you. That was part of the arrangement, that if you were successful, there would be a speeder, driven by a droid.
Well, we drove a speeder down there.
Did you drive
Yeah,
one down all the way, or just to the to this part? Yeah, I guess you did drive it to this part. All right, so that's fine. You're right. I forgot about that. So yeah, you would basically take your speeder back and start heading, presumably back to Hemi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
and again, Zaya is not talking. That is very uncharacteristic of her. And if you're really looking at her, it almost looks as if maybe she's crying, and you've never seen her do that before, ever. She's a very happy person. You've never been, you've seen her get angry-ish, you know what I mean? But you've never seen her more angry than today, and you've never seen her be emotional ever.
I think if she would kind of look at talk to Sasha and say, humanoid, emotional distress, no protocol in place.
Sasha, pale, concentration on her part to even pilot this thing, and she just looks like she's somewhere else, and she's just kind of muttering. Barely audible. I mean, Ingot might be able to hear her, but whoever's sitting next to her might be able to hear it, but that's about it.
Yeah. And I think as you guys are sort of making your way back towards Hemi, successful, knowing that one of your companions at least will live, I think the scene would kind of dissolve, and then it would reappear almost as like a mist, as like like an opaque memory. And Zaya, if you will, go ahead and describe for me like a moment that you and Laz would have had, whether it was like your first meeting or just, maybe like the most cherished memory that Zaya would have that involved Laz.
So the opaque misty image comes up almost like a thought bubble almost. And she's just, you see Zaya, she's in her typical black leather. And she's in a bar, and she has a drink in front of her, and she's pondering over the drink. Looks a little intoxicated, and she's muttering to herself, I can't believe I stood up. Nobody stands me up. I stand them up. Can't believe this. And then at that moment, you see Laz on the other side of the bar. He's nursing a drink as well, and he's just kind of looking over. And she's, as you guys see, she's really attractive. So he's just, he hasn't taken his eyes off the entire time that the scene is happening, and he just kind of looks over and goes, "Why don't you have a shirt on?" And he looks down at his drink real quick because he realized that now she's noticed. Hey, I'm talking to you. Why don't you have a shirt on? People wear shirts. But kind of nice that you don't have a shirt on. Who, who, who are you? And she picks up her drink and goes sits down at at the seat next to him. And the two of them, that's their first meeting. They very quickly hit it off. And we'll leave the fade to black parts that we always do. And the next thought in her head is the moment when she wakes up the next morning and he's laying there and he's a beautiful green Twi'lek, and she has a soft spot for Twi'leks. And she just sits there and she goes, I can't have feelings for this person. I have feelings for no people. Just sex. And that's where it goes away.
And I think that, like, it's probably at that point that you guys sort of finally make it back to the entrance.
Actually,
Oh, go
can I
ahead.
have just a little scene in there with with them? Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So she snaps out of that, and it comes back to as a movie, it comes back to the scene. He's gone, Sash. He's gone, Sasha.
No,
Are
Zaya.
you, are, are you listening to me?
I'm so sorry. Saved him. I should have been able to save him.
He's gone, Sasha. I've been with him for 5 years, Sasha. We can't even bury him, Sasha. And she takes a huge deep breath in. And now we're left with this thing. They can't even shoot anything. Who are you?
I'm Ingot. Android. Where are you taking me?
You didn't have to come with us. I asked you if you wanted to, and you said yes. So we need to go pick up our other friend, and you just stay here. And if you don't want to walk with us when we get out of the speeder, we don't care. Because that and she's unable to talk at that point. And the scene, fades. And at the end you just see Sasha and Zaya just like hug each other, and they have a phenomenal cry over Laz's the perishment of Laz.
And then I think the scene sort of cuts now to Hemi kind of hunched over this bucket, like just puking his guts out, and you guys would be sort of standing in the doorway there. And I think that it would be like at that point that it would be one of those weird scenes where like your eyes all kind of meet, right? And Hemi is looking just real rough, and he was looking rough when you left him here, but you can see, I mean, he's got like his his shirt is kind of open, and he's got this big back to patch on him, and the doctor is sort of muttering a little bit, and he looks like he's about to come over to Hemi and like stick him with something, a needle or whatever, and he was like, oh, I told you it was gonna get worse. But then like you definitely would would see that, and Hemi, you would catch specifically Zaya and Sasha are just looking like wrecked. Laz is not here, and there's this blue droid.
Yeah, did Inga follow us? I mean, I'm not,
Oh, I
Yeah,
don't know. I assume
he follows.
he hasn't gotten any credits yet, so you know.
Keeps holding his hand out, like doing the tip thing, you know.
Yeah, she doesn't even care. I mean, Zaya on Zaya's behalf, she doesn't care. Lazy midnight. I mean, it's
What-
not.
Where's Laz?
Humanoid's deceased, if that is the one you refer to.
And he
Zaya
sort
quickly snaps around and looks at him and says, "You talk again, I'm gonna have her shoot you right now." That humanoid that you keep talking about was my best friend. Say it again. Try it.
Inget just blinks, like his eyes. He doesn't really blink. He has no eyelids, but his his eyes kind of like glow a little bit.
Yeah. Try it. And then she turns around and looks at Sasha, who is still weeping, I'm assuming. And she's trying to put on the strong face like she always does. He's gone. He did the most heroic thing I've ever seen. Jumped in the middle of 3 of those wretched beasts that have this crap, and she is holding the canister in her hand and goes, "For this," and sets it on the table. "Put him in the Kiffin tank now."
And the doctor takes it. He, for as much facial expression, right, as an Ithorian can have, you know, he does definitely look a little bit distressed. He says, "Thank you, work. Yes, your friend will be taken care of." And then it sounds like he's about to say something else, and then he just sort of looks at you, and he realizes like it's not going to matter what he says, and he cuts off. And go ahead.
I kind of imagine he says that to her as he's kind of walking over to Hemi, and Hemi's still kind of in and out of it. And he kind of puts his hands on Hemi's shoulders to like stand him up and start bringing him towards the tank. And Hemi kind of shakes his head. He kind of like starts to understand what's no, there's got to be a mistake. We got to go back and get him. I'll come with you. And he starts to pull the blocked up patch off of his abdomen.
Yeah. You know,
It's too late.
Zaya is very, very distraught, but runs over to her other friend and kind of, you know, helps him up as well and gives him a hug. They
Sasha rushes over there with you, and it's too late. I mean, we can't.
They consumed
We
him.
can do.
ma'am. They ate him.
Should have fired sooner.
Not your
It's
fault.
slugs.
It's not your fault. And she just rubs
Save him.
hugs. It's put him in a tank, Doc. He's on a tank, please. Is there a place that we could sit and be alone for a few minutes, Doctor?
And he says, yes, of course. I will get your friend Hank. I will go back to my office. Phone calls. We'll have time. He will be in there for a while. But do you need to speak to him alone or have a few moments alone before?
Yeah, take that thing with you.
Very well. Back shortly.
And Zaya doesn't acknowledging it. You know, I mean, it's just not something that that she's gonna do. And I would assume that the three friends kind of have an embrace. You know, the girls would tell or try to be able to tell Hemi exactly what happened. And I'm assuming the gravity hits Hemi. How does he respond to that?
Yeah, Hemi kind of pushes away from you, and he just says, "He should have Griffin ran. Always run."
No, he
Can't
ran
get
right
yourself-
at it.
Just like he always does. He ran right at it.
And he just kind of starts to sink, his shoulders slope, and he says, I'm going to get in this tank.
You're
When
going
I
to
get out, we need to make enough credits. Get off this
damn rock.
Griffin garbage.
I don't want to be in this
And he
rock.
turns back to them and he says, I think we need to look at other options beyond the huts. Before I get in, just do me a favor. Do some research on the Pike Syndicate. It might be our route out of here.
Does that strike any knowledge to Zaya?
Yeah, I mean, you guys could you could make like a knowledge underworld. It would just be like a 2 difficulty.
I got that. That is a thing for her.
Can we do that as a group roll or?
Yeah, I mean, you could each do it if you want to, or if you wanted to do it as a group roll, you could just,
I mean,
whoever has the highest skill and the highest whatever.
I would say without me, I already rolled in chat and I knew of them. But I imagine he's going to be in the tank for a bit, so he just figures you guys might want to do like some more in-depth researching, like while he's in the tank, like ask around or something.
Yeah, Chris, I got 2. I mean, I got 3.
Oh, I do too. Okay.
But I got 1 yellow. So,
Oh, you should do it then.
yeah, roll it.
Mine's
Yeah.
only 3 green.
Yeah, is it in there, Sam?
Oh, sorry. Let me. Yeah, I just got my switched out the battery on my. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna flip the last point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna flip the last point.
Yep. Okay.
Can I do it on this one? Let me see if I can do it on this one. Oh no, it's not that. Let me. I just want to make sure I don't get anything. She gets things. So, second. Sorry, I went too far.
Sure. I mean, you've already succeeded on your roll.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if she knew anything more. No, I don't get anything on it.
Okay. So basically what you know about the Pikes, or what you've heard about the Pikes, is that they're a little bit more small time, right? They're not like the Huts. They're not like Black Sun. They were more powerful and prestigious at one point, but now, they've fallen onto a little bit of hard times. But they're primarily known for smuggling spice. I mean, that's really where they make they're based out of the Outer Rim. They're their own species, the Pike species. And from what you have heard, they are sort of looked down upon by the Huts and Black Sun, but they people seem to want, well, if you're getting into criminal work, people like working for the Pikes for some reason. Beyond that, you don't really know, but there's nothing that you've heard that would make you exceptionally nervous.
Yeah, so there's kind of small time, I understand that Hem is in a spot right now, but you work for the Huts, Sasha. You want to work for the little fish? You want to work for the big fish?
Don't you want to work for the fish that doesn't eat you?
Yeah.
You're in a tank.
He's right.
He's still in the. I was telling you.
He's not in
before
the
I
tank
get in.
yet. Yeah.
I didn't hop in. I'm waiting for that.
I'm just joking.
This lifestyle ain't no piece of cake, and I wouldn't mind a little easier road to hoe.
Always
Promise of credits. Yes.
Who is this?
Zaya turns around and walks right up to Ingot and says, I will talk to you when we're ready to talk to you. I am kind of the de facto leader of this little group, and you will deal with me if my and tears start to flow again. If he promised you credits, we will figure that out. But you ask me again, and you will be disassembled here by this doctor who does that very well. Please don't test me today.
Contract agreed.
Okay. And and I'm assuming he doesn't understand the emotion.
No, he has no idea. He's
Yeah.
like completely oblivious. Yeah.
But she just quickly turns back around again and says, "He's pretty high powered. He might come in handy." And
Allows seemed to think he'd be useful.
absolutely.
And Hemi would usually be very interested in any new tech, and he just kind of looks and just maybe gets a little emotional thinking of Laz and just kind of turns away and says, "Of course, he'd be useful. The droids don't die."
Get in the tank, dude. Get in the tank, my man. We need you. Might have to reprogram that thing so it's more obedient to us. And she kind of winks at Hemi, gives him a hug around his neck. We'll see you when you're well. I've been around for a long time. I'm gonna be off that shit when you come out.
Yeah, we'll see.
I can't handle losing another of you today, so get in there already.
Yeah, Hemi would bang on the door where the doctor was to kind of bring him back out.
Yeah. And he comes back out, and I think that, like, the scene would sort of play out where the camera sort of backs up a little bit, and you're sort of watching it as like, like sped up and like overhead view, right? And escorts Hemi into the tank, and you're kind of getting into the back to tank and getting better, and like Sasha and Zaya are just like breaking down and hugging each other and whatever, and Inga is sort of there just like what's going on, but then, and I think the scene would kind of end where the camera would pan in onto Zaya's data pad, and it would be a message basically from Cordella, the major domo, for Durga the Hutt, and saying basically, "Are we still on for our meeting?" And then that's where the camera would go black. You'd hear, the Star Wars music fade to black. That's the end.
Nice.
Nice, man.
Thank you. I
Oh
hope
my
that was
God.
a suitably nice way to transition Laz out and got in.
Yeah.
But wasn't easy.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think I'd be that emotional over him. It's you did him well, buddy. You did him well.
Thanks. I was certainly hoping that was going to be the effect. If there were real tears and emotions, I will count that as a major victory.
There's nothing wrong with the real emotion, man. These games are important to us.
Absolutely.
That was good. That was
yeah, yep.
And so, for anyone watching, we will probably resolve some stuff in the Discord chat that we have set up between now and our next session, which will be in about 3 weeks, January 7th, same time around 8 p.m. And we will see what the party does. Will they get involved with the Hutts, or will they see what the Pikes might have to offer them and see where things go? But yes, this was great fun for me. I really appreciate you guys playing. Anthony, thanks for jumping in. And it's always hard when you're sort of the new guy coming in, and we had to sort of transition another character out in the way that we did. But I'm excited to have you as part of the crew, and I know it'll be a lot of fun going forward to seeing what you guys all get up to. So yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
likewise. No, thanks everybody for making it comfortable and an easy transition in.
Thank
Well, I
you.
hope it was, buddy. I mean, and don't think that obviously we were being mean to you. It was a high tense situation, and
Oh no, hey man, that in character. I'm a huge role play guy, so like that's what it is. You know what I mean? So no offense, I liked it.
Yeah, me too. I thought that was a really nice, sort of appropriate way to handle that. I think Zaya would probably be like really sort of conflicted and like, oh, this guy helped us, but at the same time, like, what, replacing Laz,
Right. And she is the mouthpiece. She is what she is. So.
She's a mouthpiece, all right.
She's good at everything.
She won't have any romantic entanglements with this party member.
Yeah, good luck.
I would say almost zero because he doesn't have any parts.
He's not programmed for that.
It's not programmed.
Program for etiquette and protocol. No.
I know over 3,000.
I don't know. Maybe he's an entertainment droid.
Well, it wouldn't be the first. Anyways.
This isn't dark matter.
Yeah.
This isn't dark matter.
It's not dark matter. There you go.
But yeah, so I think this sort of effectively concludes the prologue phase of our Sunday Sandbox adventure. As next session, you will have a patron one way or another, and will be work for you. So I look forward to that. I think I'm going to end the broadcast here, but again, I just want to say thank you. My name is Sam. This is Chalice and Chains, Twitch, YouTube, whatever. These guys are great. I'll let you guys kind of do, if you have any outro or plug or anything that you want to say, go ahead and do that. And then we'll end it.
Just happy holidays, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sam. You killed it as usual. You're clearly one of my favorite DMs to play with, and happy holidays to anybody that watched. And there may be a really interesting game on the 30th. I know it'll be recorded. It will be through Morgan Grover. It's a Morgan Grover game, and drinking version of his Drop Dead system that he made, but he's turning it into a drinking game for that evening. And I'm almost 100% sure I'm going to be in it. It should have a crazy amount of hilarity to it, so it'd be fun for anybody to watch.
And thanks everyone for watching. This has been a ton of fun. Emmy just kind of, last thing you'd hear him mumble is he should have run. And other than that, I just hope everyone had fun. Star Wars is on everybody's mind, so this should get a ton of views.
Yeah.
Oh.
Looking forward to the 7th. See y'all there.
Awesome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Anthony. It was really certainly a droid will make an interesting accompaniment to our band of misfits.
Looking forward to it.
Indeed. All right. Happy holidays, everyone.